So what is gas price and gas limit? So I just prepared a beautiful slide for you so that you understand this thing in a more brief manner. So let's say that you own this car, right, and this stays at this point A, and you want to go from this point A to point B, right? And as for now, you have these two most important thing which you want to, if you want to go from this point A to point B, you need to have fuel, and you also need to you also understand that what is the fuel price of the point of time, right? So let's say if I have my car which has which has fuel, which has enough fuel to go from point A to point B, it can easily complete the transaction or easily go from point A to point B. But in just case if you don't have enough fuel, or let's say enough price of fuel in your car, you aren't able to go to this destination, right? You may stuck at this point and then you have to return back to a point because you don't have any gas station right over here. The only gas station in this area located in this destination point A, right? That's why you need to just return back to this A point, and then you have to fill up your gas, fill up your, let's say, car to a certain gas of in a certain limit, so that you can easily complete your route and you can easily complete transaction, right? So that's the main basic example. Now let's again move forward to understand it in a more deeper sense. Let's say we have this wallet, which is, let's say this is a MetaMask wallet, and you just sign a transaction. Signing a transaction means if you want to complete transaction, you need to first send that, and then you need to sign the transaction. Now the signing transaction works in that sense. Let's say if you want to sign a transaction, it essentially takes your private key and verify that you are the only person who essentially signed the transaction, right? That's how the signing works. Now let's say just forget all this DDoS shield and this MEW node and this Infora and this Etherscan. Let's say you just sign a transaction, then this signing transaction goes to this nodes, and this nodes then goes to this tunnel, and this goes to this tunnel, and go. Then these transactions fill up to this pool. Now these pools are essentially the pool of all unsigned, or maybe like all signed transaction. Those are pending right now, right? So the person who essentially pick up the transaction from here and add to the block, those persons are known as miners, right? So miners are those persons who essentially give us the computational power and help in the completion of the transaction, right? So let's say there's a miner A who just pick up a transaction and just allocate, just add to this block, right? Now once it add to the blockchain, the transaction is permanent. And there's a main thing: the miner pick up the transaction first, those pay a higher gas limit, right? So even if in this case, if you just open up your MetaMask, and let's say if you just open up your MetaMask, and if you want to send some sort of ETH to your main account, let's say I just copy my second account, I want to just send incubate ether from this to this. Let's say I just want to send 0. Let's say 0.002 ETH, incubate. Let's click on this next, and over here you will see there's a section of edit, right? This shows us the gas fee, and over here there's a section of edit. Now click on this edit right over here. Now you will see there's a section of gas limit, right? And this thing is constantly changing, right? So if you click on this show recommendation, now you will see there's a section of low, medium and high, right? This says it's likely to be confirmed in 30 seconds with this gas limit. And even if it just if you just select this low right over here, it shows us it's maybe take more than 30 seconds, right? If in case if I just click on this high, select this high one, this says it's very likely to complete in less than 15 seconds, right? That's how a gas limit kind of used to works. If you set the gas limit to a very high section, and maybe like in the very high zone, it completes really fast, right? It pick up the miner really fast, and then they easily add to the block, and then a block, then your transaction has been completed, right? So that's how essentially the gas limit thing works right over here, right? And even if you click on, even if you see right over here, that states that this is gas price. This is the Etherscan essentially a block explorer which you can, where you can easily find all the transactions. All the transactions are essentially recorded on this piece of website, right? This is essentially the block explorer. You can easily explore any address, any transaction hash, anything right from here, right? So over here you will see there's a section of gas price. Now this gas price shows us the price offered to the miner to purchase the amount of gas, right? This is the gas which is offered to the miner, to complete the transaction, right? That's how it's kind of works. And if you look at this, is the transaction fees. Now this fees is essentially the fees which is taken by the person who is completing the transactions, and this fees is essentially 10. If you look at this, this says that max fees per gas times gas use, right? That's how the transaction fee has been recorded or has been calculated. Now let's understand both of them one by one in more definition manner. Let's say we have gas limit, then we have our gas price, right? So let's say the gas limit is essentially the maximum amount of gas that you are willing to pay to run a transaction. Let's say max gas you are willing to pay to, let's say, complete a transaction. Cool. So now the gas price is essentially the amount you want to pay per unit gas as a fee to the miner. Let's say now I already showed you what the gas price means in the right over here, gas price right over here. Now look at this, it says that the price offered to the miner to purchase this amount of gas, right? This amount is basically offered to the miner, who essentially allocate this transaction to the block, right? That's how this amount of money, this amount of ETH has been credited to the miners, right? So we can say that the amount you want to, let's say, pay per unit of gas as a fee to the miner, right? So that's what both of these terms means. I will see you in the next video.